Hi, guys. So, congratulations. You have just graduated onto your OB because you are 10 weeks. Yay! So, now what, right? Um, One thing I learned is that before your 10 weeks, right, you need to be aware and acknowledgeable of her OB and what their standards are. So before you even sign with the GC, maybe you could also, if you're someone who doesn't trust a lot of doctors, or you really want to be sure that her OB is, you know, up to your standards as far as like knowledge, whatever information that you need to know. Talk to her, your surrogate or your future surrogate, and ask her if you're okay with contacting her doctor's office and asking some questions. Do they take this test? Do they do these tests? When do they do it? Are they okay with taking a test from another time? Why? Those kind of things. In my situation, I didn't do that, right? So I just trusted that the doctor that she would have, um, you know, knows what she's doing, and she's going to do the standard stuff that I thought was standard, which apparently is not. Every doctor is very different. So if you really care and you want to make sure that this doctor does all these things that you want them to do, then, make a quick phone call and discuss that with your GC, let her know what you're doing, and so forth. So it's 10 weeks, right? So now it's your first OB appointment. And so it's fantastic. So when they're there, those are the times for you to be able to start developing a relationship with your OB. Important to ask questions and so forth. It's also good before your 10-week appointment. Have your surrogate sign waiver forms with her doctor's office so that the day of the appointment, you're able to be there, whether it's in person or on FaceTime or a phone conversation, and the doctor is comfortable talking to you and answering any of your questions and sharing all this information with you or with your spouse or partner and so forth. So that's important to do. Also, it's key that you really trust her doctor. Okay, and if there's any concerns, it's best to have these conversations maybe privately with her doctor and not in front of the surrogate. One thing I do know is that a surrogate, this is her OB that's probably delivered her children, and she is very comfortable. She could have known this OB since she was a little girl. I mean, since she had her first OB appointment, her first pap smear. So, you got to be careful with how you talk to her doctor, especially if it's in front of her. I mean, that's common sense, but there are people who feel that because she's carrying your child that you have a right to have whatever concerns you have, right? So that's a valid point, but sometimes it's good to maybe send an email out to the doctor if you're really concerned about something and you don't want to alarm your GC, right? Because your GC is also going to feel a little defensive. She's going to feel a little protective of her OB. She doesn't want to know that her OB is maybe not knowledgeable about something or isn't doing a test that should be done or properly or whatever. Those things. Best not to discuss that with your GC, especially if it's her own OB. It's best to discuss that directly with the OB. And in the end, one thing I did learn is that there are some things that I thought were so standard. She had to do the maternity 21 at 9 weeks. She had to do all these things. And it's not really the case. And I was having a hard time trusting her. Um, Only for us to finally, eventually talk it out and realize, no, that's why she's a doctor, right? So it calmed me down a great deal. And so it's great to create a rapport with this person who's going to be a part of your life for the next 9 months. Okay. And that's really pretty much it. Just have a great relationship with her, make your GC feel great, knowing that she's in the right hands. It's important for her to feel that, right? So, yeah, all right. Congratulations. You're 10 weeks.